G'day and welcome to another episode of KiwiCarLife. And as many long-time fans of the channel will know, for about 3 years I owned pretty much nothing but Honda Accords. I had a silver New Zealand new Honda Accord Euro S manual, which I did a whole lot of modifications to. And then for another year I owned a repossessed Accord Euro R that I fixed up and restored to its former glory. And many fans of the channel still maintain that the Accord era of KiwiCarLife was the best era. And today we're here to find out if it really is. We've got my BMW 130i, which I now own, and a friend of mine, Andy's Accord Euro R, and we're going to see whether I made the right choice in switching from my line of Accords to a modern BMW. In terms of exterior styling, there really is no comparison. Personally, I think that my 130i is a pretty decent looking little hatchback. However, seeing one of these blue Accord Euro Rs with really nice looking wheels, a Mugen spoiler, Mugen monsoons, and the body kit that these Euro Rs came with from factory, they really are, especially in blue, just some of the greatest looking Hondas ever made. The Accord Euro R has one of the most powerful 2-litre naturally aspirated engines in current circulation. It's a K20A with 162 kilowatt, or around 220 horsepower, and 206 Newton meters of torque. It's naturally front wheel drive with a close ratio 6-speed manual transmission and a limited slip diff. Just saying that is bringing back memories of when I used to say that all the time about my own car, but of course I no longer own one because I have this 130i. While it doesn't quite rev as high and is not quite as zingy of an engine, I suppose, as the K20A, which is just one of the most fantastic 4-cylinders to operate, it does make a lot more power and a lot more torque. 195 kilowatt, which is over 30 more than this, and 315 Newton meters, which is 110 more than this. So it's just naturally, with it being a 3-litre straight 6, a more powerful engine. But it's also still paired with a very close ratio 6-speed manual transmission, but it's going to the rear wheels. And finally, the interior. This is one of the main reasons why I bought a BMW, because these Accord Euros have absolutely no features whatsoever. My car has auto lights, this doesn't. It has auto wipers, this doesn't. It's got Bluetooth, it's got a screen which shows your fuel economy. The screen is all in Japanese and is basically completely illegible. It's got heated seats, it's got leather, it's got electric seats, it's got memory seats. It's got buttons on the steering wheel to change the volume and the radio station that's playing. It's just a far nicer car to live with every single day. But the Recaro seats in these Accords are actually really quite nice. The small little Momo steering wheel feels great. I love the red gauges in these, but they literally just show your trip distance and that's about it. And there really are no other features to speak of on the interior of the Accord. So the Accord is perhaps slightly more driver focused, but the 130i has far more features, is a lot more comfortable, a little bit more practical. It's just a better interior overall. Back in the Accord Euro R. Oh yeah, it is good to be back. Holy moly, he's got a short shifter on this one and the transmission feels freaking unbelievable. Now yeah, it's a small engine so it makes a lot of noise but doesn't have a lot of torque, which takes some getting used to, and you got to get the revs up. Oh, the limited slip diff, you can just feel how it works. Oh, it just yanks you through the corner, eh? This is quite something, eh? Look at this, just foot to the floor out of the corner. It just pulls you out. Oh. Okay, let's analyze this a little bit more. So the ride's pretty firm, the seats are quite narrow and not the most comfortable, and the steering is similarly quick, but doesn't feel quite as good. The transmission in both of these cars feels good, and it's helped by the fact this one has a short shifter, but it does feel flippin' awesome, eh? The fact you can just go, look at that, just bang through all the gears, eh? And the engine just immediately responds. Oh, it's so excellent. Gear ratios are great. The pops and bangs are a little obnoxious, but that's just because of its tune. The engine is a masterpiece. Sounds so good. And then just the handling, second gear, turning through here, foot down. And the limited slip diff just pulls you through. Oh, you can just feel it just yanking the car around. It's unbelievable. Brake, turn in, foot down, pull you through. Oh, just look at that. It's unfreaking believable. The only area where I can really see the BMW being better is torque and steering feel and ride quality. It manages to handle well while still being compliant, whereas this is quite but I must admit, if I just wanted to go out for a drive, I'd probably take this. It is really, really good. Well, here we are back in my 130i, going for a nice evening drive to wrap up the videos that I've filmed today, and it's been really rather interesting to drive effectively my old car. Yes, it had a few different modifications on it, but in essence it's a very, very similar car. To drive it back to back with now my current car. The Accord is the car that I would want to drive today. You know, if I just had one day left and I wanted to drive a car, I would want to drive that Accord. All of us who drove Andy's Accord absolutely loved it and agreed that it was a brilliant drive. He set it up so well on the coilovers, and I was shocked when we had a little cheeky rolling race to discover that in fact the Accord Euro was keeping up with my 130i with an engine a whole litre less displacement. Now yes, he has modifications on his, he's got a header, exhaust, a tune, you know, all sorts of things, but even so, I was most surprised that he was hanging with me. He wasn't beating me, but he was keeping up. If he didn't have all the modifications on it, I'd be confident that this car would be faster in just about any context. Now on corner exit, because of the limited slip diff, the Accord was really quite fast. It's hard to know if it'd be quicker than this, because this can kind of squat the rear end and power out of corners, whereas the Accord is kind of the opposite, where it uses the limited slip diff to drag the front out of corners. But the 130i definitely has better steering feel, it has a much better interior, and I guess that's the thing, is it's like, yes, in some areas the Accord drives better, but this is almost as good in the driving department and just better in everything else, and it's just a less compromised car that still does the driving 95% as well, you know. And I know people love my Accords, but this is also a masterpiece to drive. It really is. And if you haven't driven one, you've got to drive one. And I suppose all that's left to say is, if you're in the market for something like these, I would recommend both. They are both excellent, and you just choose which one based on your own personal preferences, and you're going to love it. So thanks very much for watching, and I will look forward to seeing you again next time.